Former Manhattan D.A. prosecutor Elliot Felig joins me now. Jonathan Turley, law professor, Washington University. Which university? It's George Washington. That's the one. Well, Turley says he is convinced that the decision will be reversed, either in the state or the federal system. Do you agree with that? But more to the point, when might it be reversed?
Right. So they have a lot of significant potential appellate issues. But a couple of things. Number one, an appeal would not be heard most likely for at least a year before the intermediate appellate court hears it. And number two, politics should not play a role in these things, but we have to be cognizant of the fact that every single appellate judge in New York, both in the intermediate court and the high court, is a Democratic appointee.
Wait a second. If he runs in the election, Trump's in the election, and he loses, but then after the election, his conviction on these felony counts is reversed.
Right.
Then what?
Then there's no recourse other than too bad, so sad.
But that's outrageous.
No confidence in the judicial
system. I mean, that just sinks
point.
my confidence. You're right, Lauren. That sinks my confidence in the judicial system. That's wrong.
Appeal rarely heard in less than a year, and you're talking about a voluminous transcript and so many potential appellate issues. That makes it even longer, potentially.
Now, does it have to be all 34 counts reversed?
Most likely the same issues would have impacted all of the counts. So my suspicion is that if there were a reversal, it would affect all 34 equally.
If he is sentenced to jail, I think it's July the 11th, I believe, right before
Correct.
the Republican convention, if he's sentenced to jail, will he actually go to jail?
Well, I think he shouldn't be sentenced to jail because it's the lowest level felony in the state. He does not have a criminal record, and so it would be the exception rather than the rule to sentence someone in those circumstances to jail. But they would move for a stay of sentence pending appeal, because when you have a short jail term, you would essentially be deprived of the benefit of the appeal if you served the full term before the appeal was heard.
I think I'm following this. Convoluted legalistic logic, if you ask me. But what kind of a precedent do these guilty verdicts create?
Think of it this way. We've been having federal elections within the confines of New York State since it was founded 230 years ago. No one has ever been charged before with a business records violation arising from a federal election ever before in those 230 years.
Well, what kind of precedent does that set for elections in the future?
It makes you worry about the weaponization of the criminal justice system, and everyone should always do the shoe on the other foot test before they celebrate a verdict like that.
So this is the weaponization of the judicial system.
I think if his name were not Donald Trump, this case would never have been brought in state court.
Do you think that these courts, the New York's judicial system, is in good... Now, this is very difficult for you to answer because you're a lawyer in New York.
Right.
But do you think that our legal system in New York City is in good standing in this country?
I think that a nonpartisan prosecutor would not have brought these charges. So that raises concerns. It should raise concerns about how this precedent could be followed by partisan prosecutors of any political stripe.
You're a lawyer, but you're also a diplomat. And that was pretty good. Elliot Felig, anytime you want to come on back, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot.